Question. How do we call him? He gave us a signal.
What up, Gotham Guardians and Arkham Adversaries? It's your boy Trey of the Bat Channel, and we are live from the Batcave. Finally, we are live. We've been having like so much going on lately, and as you guys probably don't know yet, Super Bro Corey, Warner Brothers has found him, so he is having to pack up the Fortress of Solitude and move out of state. So he's busy at the moment. So it's just your boy Trey tonight. But we have a damn good show for you guys today. A damn good show. First off, before we begin, I'm going to need all of you in the comment section to do that hashtag RestoreTheSnyderverse. Let's go. Let's go. Hashtag RestoreTheSnyderverse. Man, was yesterday awesome. It was so dope. Right? Like, I think we got over 250,000 tweets. It was so insane, you know, and to see Ray Fisher again involved, Ray Porter, you have now Wayne T. Carr as Green Lantern getting involved up in this. It was a damn good day. Thanks to Geralt of Rivia for putting that event on, and another successful event. I mean, you know, anytime the Snyder Cut community comes together, and I mean truly comes together, they're going to accomplish like amazing things. And it's kind of weird lately. I'm just to kind of not go too far off track, but I feel like lately we've kind of gone to this place in our community where we started to turn on each other, where it's like, you weren't here from the beginning, or, you know, you don't really support Zack Snyder. You were just here on the high of, you know, Zack Snyder's Justice League. Or, you know, some people say, well, like, you can't talk about DC or anything Warner Brothers has coming up because that's, you know, going against Zack, when really we just need to come together, right? We need to get back to that old day of where we were fighting to raise money for the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention, or Feeding America, you know, with the Make the Bathlet campaign. We need to get back to truly believing into that us united. I really feel like that. So let's see here. Let's see who we got in the chat. We got David. What's up, David? Hashtag restore the Snyderverse. I love it. I love it, David. Hell yeah. Alan Robinson. Hashtag restore the Snyderverse. Yes. Yes. Absolutely, guys. This is what it's all about. Like, when this community comes together, look what we have achieved. We convinced a film studio, more importantly, a communications company, AT&T, to release the Snyder Cut. That happened because of endless Twitter campaigns, you know, constantly trending over and over and over again. So if we continue to do that, I've seen a few people, when I kind of hang out on some other people's YouTube channels like Sil Abdul, I've seen a few people say, drop it. Like, it's not helping. Doing hashtag restore the Snyderverse. And to be honest with you, I'll be honest, these people who have said this, I know are definitely not a part of the community. They're actually Marvel fans. Okay. Nothing against them. They like what they like. And Marvel does a very good job at what they do. It's just not my cup of tea, really. I enjoy it, but I'm not DC crazy about it like I am with the Snyderverse. They're telling us to drop it, that it won't help, that we're getting annoying now. No, we're not. We're not getting annoying. And if we are annoying the studio executives, all the suits over there, then good. I want to be on their mind constantly. Let them see the social media engagement of our community. We're constantly trending, constantly. Every day it seems like something, whether it's Ben Affleck as, Batman, or the Man of Steel, which is going to be, we're going to talk about that a little later. We're going to talk about the Man of Steel. But first, before we fully get into our show, make sure to hit the like, share, and subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss an episode. It's going to be good. You already know. Using a little bit of Ray Fisher there. As you guys may have heard, we recently passed 1,000 subscribers, which has allowed us this super cool opportunity that we're going to get into, which is the super chats. Yes. So basically, if you guys don't know what super chat is, it means you can, if you are really digging our show and you want to help fund, send us money so that way we can improve our show. Whether, some of the things we're hoping to get is a new logo, some new animations, hoping to get some new lighting systems, so that you make the background a little more fun rather than, as my dad says, boring background, other than all the cool comics I have back there, Dad. So that the super chat is going to help us make this show all the more better. And if you do donate money to us, we have some little video clips that we play to thank you for all your support, because it really does mean a lot to us. So if you are interested, go ahead and hit that super chat for us. We have a different video for each level. I think we have one for $5, $10, $15. I think I even went up to like $75, and they're pretty funny. But I'm losing my voice already. That's why we just got to start with a little sip of the beer. Oh yeah. It's going to be good, folks. It's going to be good. So yeah, if you feel like giving us some money every now and then, we're going to use our super chats to raise money for campaigns like Feeding America with the Make the Batfleck movie. We're going to do that on June 27th. So every dollar we get on that show, we're going to donate all of it to Feeding America, whatever is left, because I think YouTube takes a percentage of it. I'm not sure, but whatever is left for us, 100% of it will go to Feeding America. And eventually, when we release our awesome Hallelujah video that Corey and I are currently working on, we are going to do a big fundraiser for the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. Help us get to that $1 million mark, because we're getting close, folks. We're getting so close. Can't wait. Oh, I think, hey, we got a super chat already from Super Bro Corey. He's in the live chat. He can't be with us because I think he's like packing up right now. But he says, #RestoreTheSnyderverse, #make the Batfleck movie. We ain't going anywhere. The show goes on. Yes, I'm sweet talking to you. Oh, that's funny that you bring that up, Corey, because here's our first ever super chat.
Are you sweet talking me?
Oh man, thank you so much, Super Bro Corey. Probably that $5 will actually go to like gas money to help you move. But it's gonna be solid. Oh, Dad pulls in the house. Dad pull with happy to open the Gotham Bank of Bat Dad to improve the set. Dad, we really got to get you like on the same page here. It's either Bat Dad or Dadpool. I thought we were in agreement that you're a huge Deadpool fan, that we're going to do Dadpool, which I like the playoff words right there. But appreciate you being here, Dad. I really do. It's nice. It's nice to have your parents support you, especially when your parents, like Bruce Wayne's parents, aren't around too soon. Oh man. But let's get into the show today. Let's get a little further into it. Release the Schumacher Cut is having a Twitter event tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for the director's cut of Batman Forever. I don't know about you guys. Let me know in the comment section. Do you guys want to see a director's cut of, Batman Forever? Because I won't lie. Like, Batman Forever it's not a bad movie at all. It's for the 90s, other than I think there was a brief moment of bat nipples on, in that movie. But Val Kilmer was not a bad Bruce Wayne or Batman at all. Neither was Chris O'Donnell. I mean, they didn't really, get really into like, kind of the comic book accuracy, at least with, they did with Dick Grayson's kind of his bringing on. But you had Tommy Lee Jones as, Two-Face, and you had Jim Carrey as the Riddler, who played a very classic like 1960s Riddler, which the actor's totally spacing my name. I know Dad would get it right away. He would be like, come on, man, come on. But yes, me personally, I am super excited for the hashtag release the Schumacher cut. And personally, this is super easy to be released on HBO Max. They already have the cut. I believe the writer, Goldsman, had an interview recently, and he actually said, he said, I got to see it recently, the very first one, which was referred to as Preview Cut 1, and it was really dark. It was a pretty psychological exploration of guilt and shame of Bruce Wayne, and some of the scenes, as you can see in that image, with Bruce confronting a man bat, kind of similar to what Zack Snyder did with Batman v Superman. Like, come on now, come on. Like, me personally, director's cuts are just naturally better. They explain the story better. It's usually smoother, because then you get, obviously this happens with every film. The director has their cut, they send it into the studio, and the studio says, hey, we really want you to hit this 2.5 hour mark so people can, be in the theaters more, so there's more showings throughout the day, so they can make that $10 a ticket, right? So anytime you get a director's cut of a film, I'm all for it. Like Schumacher's cut, hell yeah. Probably if there's a Schumacher's cut of Batman and Robin that's less campy and comical, I'd be interested in that. But the bat nipples are kind of unforgivable in that movie, especially. What's up, Eric? It's good to see you here, brother. Hey there, man. How's it going? Glad to have you guys here. It's gonna be a good show. I'm excited for this Schumacher cut. I hope they announce it maybe for DC Fandom, because really there's no reason why they can't release it on HBO Max right now, because it's ready to go. I mean, there's no money to be put into it, maybe other than a little bit of marketing. I don't know. A little bit of marketing never hurt nobody. But let's get into it. The 8-year, Corey, I wish you were here, my super bro. Yesterday was the 8-year anniversary of Man of Steel. Man, that was, I think when everyone first saw that film, I think it was a very misunderstood film, which is very interesting, right? Because Superman Returns was basically a direct sequel to the Christopher Reeve Superman. And in fact, I think he technically was the sequel of Christopher Reeve Superman, other than there's like a weird time gap that doesn't make sense, and people hated Superman Returns. That film did not do well. A lot of people said it didn't take enough risk, and that it was your, simple smiling Superman, which there's nothing wrong with that. But when Zack Snyder took on the project from Christopher Nolan, and they really looked at putting Superman in a real world situation of how we would accept him, this person, this being of superpowers, and to see that film kind of take place, it was kind of like, yeah, to me, it was inspiring, because it was a Superman that you could imagine in your real world, and to have that character who's going through issues, he's trying to decide if it's worth the struggle, the stress of being this incredible being. You have to ask yourself, like, must there be a Superman like they did in Batman v Superman? So the fact that it's 8 years of Man of Steel, and Henry Cavill, man, is a perfect Superman, easily. A great choice for Superman, which I heard he actually tried to be Superman for Superman Returns and didn't get it. How crazy would it have been if it wasn't Brandon Routh and it was actually Henry Cavill back then? I don't know. That would have been pretty insane. But 8 years, and Warner Brothers would like to think that after 8 years of really no direct solo sequel for Man of Steel, other than, you kind of have Batman v Superman as the sequel, they decide that the best, to fill your Superman needs is this little, well, God, that makes me sad just thinking about the Make the Man of Tomorrow. Hashtag Make the Man of Tomorrow, please. Brainiac being in it, guys. That would have been good. We may have gotten an answer to who was in that open pod. Let me know in the comment section. Who do you think is in the open pod? Do you think it's Supergirl? I mean, here's my thing about the Supergirl, because Zach actually brought it up in an Army of the Dead interview. And in that interview, he knows that people are guessing Supergirl. That's the guess, right? I think there was a comic, a DC comic that was technically a part of the, I guess you could say, the DCU. It was like a prequel to Man of Steel that actually explains who is on that Krypton ship. And I think technically they say it's Supergirl, but I feel like now, just being the oddball here, I feel like, what if it wasn't Supergirl? What if it was actually Brainiac? Zach says Brainiac was going to be in Man of Steel 2. So how cool would it have been is that Brainiac was actually in that ship, because this ship was in there, I think, what did they say, like 3,000 years? That's kind of a long time for Supergirl to be just hanging out for 3,000 years. Or if someone has her, maybe Darkseid has her, and she's one of his pawns, maybe. Or I think it could be Brainiac, that he's already integrated his technology and his artificial intelligence within our society. That could be crazy. He's been waiting for the perfect moment to strike, and he goes for it. Takes everyone out. I don't know. That, to me, that's a cool idea. I'm sure it's probably Supergirl. It looks like Trevor H thinks so as well, that it is Supergirl. It definitely could be. It could be as simple as, Kara L. It could be. Corey says, hashtag Make the Man of Tomorrow. I agree. Make the Man of Tomorrow. Because it's been too damn long for a proper Superman sequel. But, like I said before, for Warner Brothers to satisfy your Superman needs in the meantime, they're giving you Super Pets. The League of Super Pets with Crypto. Hey, it's for the kids, right? But it's going to be in the movies. It's getting a theatrical run. We got a little teaser clip earlier this week. But hey, the cast, it's Dwayne Johnson, which that's an interesting choice for Crypto because he will be Black Adam. I don't know kids probably don't care either way, but adults are going to match the voice of Crypto to Black Adam. So it's, who cares, right? It's for the kids. But you're even going to have Kevin Hart as Ace, which I think, didn't they do like a music video award thing together? And it was something like Dwayne Johnson was dressed up as Superman and Kevin Hart was dressed up as Batman. This was like a couple years ago as a little comedy skit. So the fact that they're kind of both playing, Super Pets. Oh gosh, totally, Eric. The fact that they're now kind of in an animated way playing those guys is kind of funny. But you even have like John Krasinski in it. Keanu Reeves is going to be in it. I don't know any of the other actresses. I recognize some of them, but I'm not sure who they are. I think like that one girl with the red hair is, I think I've seen her in like an American Pie, I think. But I even heard, if you looked it up on Internet Explorer, they said Kevin Conroy is going to be in it. But if you look on IMDb, they don't say Kevin Conroy at all. And they also don't specify who like John Krasinski or any of the other actors are playing. It's going to be Dwayne Johnson as Crypto, Kevin Hart as Ace the Bat Hound. So, hey, what would you guys prefer? League of Super Pets or a Man of Steel 2? I think Super Pets is just going to be So good. So good. So good. Congratulations, Corey. Batman's better. I'm just kidding. Kind of. Not really. Oh, man. Yeah. So that's going on with Super Pets. A little crazy. But here's another interesting thing that's no longer getting a theatrical release. Super Pets is, but Blue Beetle and Static Shock, you know, part of this diverse exposure that Warner Brothers is trying to push, is no longer going to be a theatrical run film because it's too risky. They're sending it directly to HBO Max streaming service. That's interesting. What do you, first off, before I give my 2 cents, and let me know in the comment section, what do you think this means for Warner Brothers? Why make that move? I mean, to be honest with you, when it comes to the SnyderVerse, the Hamada burger, piece of burger, Blue Beetle and Static Shock, I was actually kind of curious about, because as a kid, the Static Shock show, I think, which was like the early 2000s, I actually liked that show as a kid. I thought it was going to be, you know, when I heard about they were going to look at a movie, I was like, man, it's a long time coming. I always thought that, oh gosh, Will Smith's son would have been a perfect one before he kind of went crazy. You know, I mean, now he's probably too old to play that role, but you know, there was like some people saying that, well, maybe Michael B. Jordan is going to play it, but actually he's working on it. But you even have, you know, the Blue Beetle film for the Latina community, and all this exposure, this diverse exposure that they're trying to push, you know, with having a Black Superman and, you know, more female lead cast and stuff like that. Okay, then what the hell happened then? You just sent it off to HBO Max because it's too risky? Why is it too risky? What made it too risky? Or did you not just want to put in the cash that it would require for this film and made it more of a streaming service budget? I don't know. Then again, though, Amazon is spending like, oh gosh, it's ridiculous. I think it's like billions of dollars for their Lord of the Rings series. It's like the most expensive series ever. I don't know. But hey, they still have Our Man. They still have Our Man for all those people who want a piece of their Hamada burger, you know, filled with some lettuce and some crap, some Jeff Johns crap. You still got your Our Man. But, you know, Batgirl is going to be, you know, on HBO Max, which I think that's fine for a series. I think that makes sense. They are going to develop, you're hearing with the Sasha Calais, I think her name is, who's going to be Supergirl in the Flash film. They are moving forward, it sounds like, with her movie. You haven't heard much information about Zatanna or Green Lantern Corps or Plastic Man, which still I don't understand. That would make sense to be HBO Max thing, right? Plastic Man. Like, no one gives a crap about Plastic Man. No one gives a crap about Our Man. I still don't even know who Our Man is. Apparently Our Man is in the new Justice League of America, or no, Justice Society World War II animated film, which I haven't seen yet, but apparently Our Man makes an appearance or is one of the main members of that team. I don't know. Still have no idea who, you know, Our Man is. You're hearing reports that Wonder Woman 3, they're either going to get rid of Gal Gadot or, you know, fire Gal Gadot, or, you know, recast, you know, stuff like that, and or that Gal Gadot is going to be done after Wonder Woman 3. First off, I don't think Gal Gadot, there's no way Warner Brothers is going to fire Gal Gadot unless if she does something absolutely atrocious in her personal life that comes out, which I highly doubt. You know, simply because she said something controversial on Twitter, which I saw it. I didn't, at least in my opinion, I didn't think it was majorly controversial. She's from Israel. It makes sense for her opinion. You know, but to me, there's no way they will fire Gal Gadot. So anyone who thinks that's going to happen is absolutely, it'd be PR suicide, right? Like, there's no way they would get rid of Gal Gadot when they're on the high of Wonder Woman 1984, which HBO Max and Warner Brothers came out and said how hugely successful it was. You know, it was just insane amount of success on Wonder Woman 1984. And not continue. I mean, they greenlighted Wonder Woman 3 right after Wonder Woman 1984 came out. They were like, "Oh, smash it, Wonder Woman 3." The question I personally think is Patty Jenkins going to be involved, because I don't see where she has time for it. She's working on a Cleopatra thing with Gal Gadot. She's working on a huge Star Wars series or movie, about pilot starfighters and stuff like that for Disney. I don't see where she's going to have time. And not only that, I think she's not very happy with Warner Brothers, just based off how they kind of treated her with Wonder Woman, the first film, making her change the third act around, and Wonder Woman 1984. I mean, I don't know. You guys can let me know in the comment section. Did anyone like Wonder Woman 1984? I'll put it this way. Wonder Woman 1984 has moments that I really appreciate, but in the overall scheme of the film, I hate it. I'm not a fan of it. And I keep trying to like it. It was one of those things where when I think here was the bad part, and this shouldn't be something bad. I watched the first Wonder Woman right before Wonder Woman 1984, and then I watched Wonder Woman 1984 and was like, what the hell is this film? The tone is different. It was very sloppy. The story was just all over the place, and it's just cartoonish. It was an 80s like cartoon, like action hero film, like, I'm here to kick ass and take bubblegum, and I'm all out of bubblegum. Like, what? It was just such a weird film. And sometime Corey and I will do a review on that film, and I'm hoping to get a few more people on it so you guys can get some different perspectives. But even my Wonder Wife, Sarah, didn't like Wonder Woman 1984, and she's a huge Wonder Woman fan. She kind of watched it and was kind of like, it just wasn't that good. I don't know. So Eric is saying that he doesn't think Patty will be involved, and it was a letdown. Yeah, I agree. Wonder Woman 1984 was very disappointing film. And I mean, it's like one of those where if Jeff Johns is still working on Wonder Woman 3, I probably won't go see Wonder Woman 3 because I hated it that much. The only thing that changed from Wonder Woman, the first film, and Wonder Woman 1984 was the fact that Zack wasn't involved really on it, other than I think he was a producer, but I don't think he didn't write it with Patty. So it was just her and Jeff Johns, and clearly Jeff Johns' influence was shit. That's my opinion. Well, like I said, we'll talk about that more. I have an idea of how I think Corey and we're going to talk about doing sometime. Hopefully this could be a really cool community project where I'm going to give everyone kind of the story of how I think they could change at least one piece of the movie to make it a little bit better. And we're going to see if we can make kind of like a short film out of that, whether it's animation, cartoons, or live actors when we get that big someday. So I think that'd be super cool to do like a huge community project, kind of similar to what they've done on a show. Oh man, I used to watch a show with Joseph Gordon-Levitt, who played the Robin in Dark Knight Rises. I think it was called Hit Record. I think that's what it was called, where everyone kind of joined together to make kind of like a community movie project, which was a super cool show if you guys never saw that. But I would love to do that with our show on the Bat Channel, which I just discovered somebody who does something like this. That we'll show you a little clip that I'm going to try to reach out to him and see if maybe you can partner up on a few things, but it's going to be some good stuff with that. But in terms of the Hamadaverse, guys, complete other shit. I mean, really, the Suicide Squad is about to come out, and there's no hype around that film, really. I mean, the trailer came out and people talked about it maybe for a couple of hours, and then it was back to #RestoreTheSnyderverse, #release the air cut. Hell, make the Batfleck movie, right? You got the Batman film, which Warner Brothers is trying to throw this idea out. I heard from Geekosity with Mikey Sutton saying that apparently Warner Brothers thinks Robert Pattinson is going to be a better Batman than Ben Affleck, all the way down to Michael Keaton. They think he's one of the best Batmans ever. I'm sure they think that. I'm sure they do. I mean, they're letting, as far as I can tell, in terms of, Matt Reeves, and you heard some rumors that Warner Brothers didn't like the Batman film. I don't think that's true. They wouldn't have signed a 3-movie trilogy with Matt Reeves if they didn't like the direction the guy was going in. Right. I mean, it's kind of just silly. I mean, maybe they did, because then again, they signed a long movie deal with Zack Snyder and they hated Zack. So like maybe Warner Bros. Just has no idea what the hell they're doing. I don't know. But here's the truth of it. Some people try to tell you that the SnyderVerse wasn't successful. The DCEU was not successful. That is just not true. Here's just like a quick little spreadsheet that I think Chris Wong made it from the Ping Pong Flick show. But as you can see, like it shows you the budget of Man of Steel. It made a $400 million profit. Batman v Superman made over $500 million profit. Suicide Squad made freaking like almost $600 million of profit. Right. And then you have Wonder Woman, which was just huge profit for them. We don't talk about Justice League because but Aquaman was a huge deal. But I think Aquaman was honestly, part of it was Jason Momoa's really on the rise of things. And the film, I relate Aquaman a lot to kind of the Avatar movie that James Cameron did. I think it was so successful because it was so visually stunning of going into this new world of Atlantis and being able to finally see something like that. I think that's partly why people loved Aquaman so much. Aquaman was enjoyable. I really did enjoy Aquaman. It was definitely not my favorite though. There were some moments you could tell they were like trying to make it. There were some comedic spots that were like, wait, what? And there's also still the Amber Heard. I'm not talking about her drama so much. But the fact that her accent changed from Justice League to Aquaman to even Zack Snyder's Justice League, where she has a bit of a heavier English accent. But she also says in both Justice League and Zack Snyder's Justice League, she tells Arthur Curry that both her parents died from the war and that Queen of Atlanta took her in, and her father is in the movie. Like, that's just something that like, clearly that wasn't Zach's fault. That wasn't even that wasn't even Josh Whedon's fault. That was James Wan, who either decided to throw that out the door or just, I don't know. I mean, so technically you could say Aquaman doesn't maybe connect either to any of those films, and it's kind of its own theme, but kind of an interesting thing. I mean, here you see Wonder Woman 1984, obviously $200 million budget, but because of COVID and restrictions, wasn't able to make up the money, but apparently was a huge success on HBO Max. Greater success than even Zack Snyder's Justice League, if you believe that. I do not. So, I mean, that's some numbers there for you. If anyone tries to tell you that the DCU hasn't been profitable, every single film other than Wonder Woman 1984, like you said, has been profitable. Even Birds of Prey, which I think was the worst of the DCEU in my opinion, other than Justice League. Yeah. Comics Unknown says good stuff. I agree. It's good stuff. I mean, this is just proof right here to show that if anyone says Zack Snyder, I mean, here's the issue with what Warner Brothers did. And I think I've said this to you guys before. They had unreasonable expectations. They expected that the Christopher Nolan series universe was going to continue on into their DCEU without having to try, I mean, even the Marvel films, if you look at the first 5 of their films, the DCEU wins, in terms of box office. Now, if you look more closely at it, you kind of think Man of Steel, that was a hugely, back then, that would be considered, that was a very successful film. But they expected this brand new Superman film that no one had any, idea of what to expect. They expected it to be, bam, $1 billion. Iron Man wasn't $1 billion. Batman v Superman came around. They expected all the 2 biggest heroes of DC Comics, was going to be $1 billion. It was close. It was a successful film. And I think it would have been a huge success if they actually released the Ultimate Edition. Those 20-30 minutes needed to make that film all the more smoother, to make, because once you saw the Ultimate Edition, you were like, oh, this makes sense now. Lex Luthor really is the puppeteer pulling all the strings, right? It had a smoother story and everything made sense. So I personally blame Warner Brothers for that film not making $1 billion, and they should blame themselves rather than Zack. Suicide Squad, huge success. Every film they've had has made money. I mean, here's where I say it's the really funny part, that they were like so crazy about Shazam, because Shazam was really like the film that Warner Brothers and DC Films was going for, because it had that Marvel formula. And I'm not saying that that was wrong for Shazam. I mean, Shazam, you know, in my opinion, Shazam is that kind of character that can bring kind of the comedy aspect to the, you know, to the DC films. And I think it was a good film for what it was. Once again, was it my favorite film? Hell no. It was not my favorite film. But, you know, this is what they did. And with it being only a $365 million, we'll say $366 million, you know, worldwide box office, you know, money profit, look at all the other films. No one gave a shit about Shazam. If Shazam was really profitable and was really a successful film, you would look a little over kind of the average, around 700 million, somewhere about there. And yet 365 million. Birds of Prey, which was just starting to get into the COVID restrictions, 201 million. But I still say Birds of Prey was just a bad film, which you're hearing from Kathy that it was, you know, messed with Warner Brothers as well. So kind of on them. So Comics Unknown says, this is Jake FY. Oh, hey Jake, how's it going? Jake runs one of the Facebook groups. I'm totally gonna mess it up, bud. So if you could, because I'm part of like so many Facebook groups that I think it's like the DCEU Restore the Snyderverse group, I think. Hopefully I got that right. But he runs that account, and had some great chats with Jake. He says, FYI level up, cool to know you do this box office stuff. That's a niche. Some people get into it, but I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Batman v Superman ripped 20 to 30 minutes of vital information, like you said. Warner Brothers executive error. Absolutely. You were absolutely right, Jake. I mean, it would have gone a long way with those extra 20 or 30 minutes, right? Like, ridiculous. But just proof right there. And all this information was from Box Office Mojo to kind of give you an idea that, yeah, it was a hugely successful universe for the most part. They just weren't happy that it wasn't reaching their expectations, their unreasonable expectations, without feeling like they had to work for it. You have to work for it. They didn't care. But let's get into the real thing here, that Zack Snyder is just constantly winning. All this man does is win, win, win. Okay. His new Netflix series is going to be Twilight of the Gods. If you're watching, I think it was called Geeked Week, something like that Netflix is doing. It was kind of like their virtual event. And they had announced that Zack Snyder was doing his Norse mythology Twilight of the Gods, which is going to, obviously, if you know anything about Norse mythology, which my big brother, Super Bro Corey, is a huge fan of Norse mythology. He knows that Twilight of the Gods, even my good friend Jules, they're really into that stuff. Twilight of the Gods is all about Ragnarok, which is that cataclysmic event that I believe Ragnarok actually even comes from the word like the fate of the gods. So basically saying like this is where everyone dies. It's the apocalypse, basically. So this film, I mean, first off, it's Zack Snyder. You already know it's gonna be cool. It's gonna be an animated series that has this incredible cast with Jay Oliva as the Warner Brothers, the executive producer. You can tell I'm so used to saying executive producer with Warner Brothers now. Jay Oliva, who is going to be the executive producer and showrunner for Twilight of the Gods. I'm not sure how many episodes they're going to have. I can't imagine it's going to be a very long series. But man, look at the cast of this. If you guys don't know Jay Oliva, he directed like a lot of the New 52 style DC animated films. So like I believe he did Flashpoint Paradox. I think he did Justice League War, and he did my favorites, you know, The Dark Knight Returns Part 1 and 2. Like, this man's good at what he does, trust me. And he helped out a lot with Zach with Man of Steel, Batman v Superman. He even has kind of a Easter egg in Batman v Superman. You see his Gotham City jersey with Oliva. He has one of the desks at the Daily Planet. Kind of that tells you what Zack thinks of this guy. He really loves working with him, and the fact that he's going to do Twilight of the Gods with John Noble, who has done so many like huge. I mean, he was Scarecrow in the Arkham Knights video game. That's awesome. He's gonna be playing Odin. You got Patterson Joseph, who's gonna be Loki. You got Corey Stahl, who was he was in Ant-Man as the bad guy, but he was also in the show The Strain, which I finally just finished that. But then even Jamie Chung as Hell. Like you got some of the Game of Thrones cast in here, who is gonna be playing Thor and stuff like that. Like this is a good cast, and even Lauren Cohan is returning. She played Martha Wayne. Martha. Why did you say that name? Yeah, Lauren Cohan's gonna be in this show, so that's super cool. I'm personally super stoked for Twilight of the Gods. What do you guys think of this? Like, are you excited? I think this is obviously going to be a very serious, bloody take, maybe like Invincible in a way, which I finally just finished Invincible. That was actually a very cool show. One thing I will say about Invincible, sorry, going off sidetracking a little bit, but I think it deserves to be said. It's amazing that Zack Snyder comes out with a film like Man of Steel, and he comes out with a film like Batman v Superman that really gets into this serious place with superheroes. It really takes them seriously, but not in a way that makes them unfun or not inspiring and not your superheroes, right? It goes into the why of the characters, which is what I really love. I love the why of your superheroes. Why be Batman? Why be Superman? That's not an easy job. And the fact that we're starting to see shows like The Boys, Jupiter Legacy that Netflix attempted and is now moving on from, Invincible, you're starting to see a trend and successful trends at that, with The Boys. Everyone's loving The Boys. Everyone loved Invincible. And you kind of go, Zack was ahead of his time, right? Like this man just knew that he was going to be a part of this. I mean, even Christopher Nolan said with Watchmen, he was like, dude, that movie was far ahead of its time. Watchmen is such a good film. If you haven't seen it, go watch Watchmen. Hell, even the show that HBO Max did was phenomenal of Watchmen. And the fact that Zack was kind of the first to do that says a lot. I mean, it's kind of unfortunate that he's always kind of the guy that falls on the sword, that he's the one that takes the hit for it, and then people bank off it a couple years later when it's time. And maybe Zack is the one that opens people up to being able to accept a storyline like that. But I think it's interesting. I do think it's very, very interesting that Zack is always kind of ahead of its time. But Twilight of the Gods, I agree with Eric Patterson. It's looking pretty good. I'm super excited for the show. Like Corey, I know he's going to be stoked to see it. We'll have to drink some mead, every time we watch it. But Twilight of the Gods, like, come on. It's Netflix is just going, anything Zack comes at them with, they're just like, yep, here's your money. Go do it. I love that. I freaking love that Zack is just getting all the support from Netflix. But new big news, as you guys have heard probably already, Aquaman 2 has been officially titled Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom, set to be released on December 16th, 2022. The reason why I wanted to talk about this with you guys is because I think it's interesting. You heard recently from, I think his name is Patrick Wilson, who played King Orm, or the Ocean Master. He had said in an interview recently that everything is more than what it was in the previous film, which he specifically said it's funnier. Now, that is kind of a, in my opinion, it's always a little scary. Anytime you hear, like, especially nowadays, like with a Warner Brothers film or a DC film, where it's like, yeah, it's going to be funnier, you're instantly thinking, right, that it's going to be Marvel. it's going to be like a Marvel film. And I mean, I'll agree that when they say funnier, if it's anything like the kind of the comedy they used in Justice League, you know, and like you said, that was like some of my criticisms with the first Aquaman film, is they just had scenes in there that weren't needed. You know, some comedy bits that they thought was funny, but it fell flat because it was like, what? You had this like badass Jason Momoa Aquaman. And I'm not saying Jason Momoa can't be funny. He's a funny guy in real life. I'm just saying you had not well-timed comedy, in my opinion, or just some, you know, it's kind of like with sometimes what Marvel does. And this is my one, you know, one of my biggest criticism with Marvel is that you have some of these really heartfelt moments in their movies and their shows, and they'll immediately kill it with comedy because, hey, we can't take anything seriously. And it's like, no, you had something beautiful there. You had something that was like really tugging at the heartstrings, you know, or making me think about, you know, that situation and relating to it. And then you killed it for a laugh, you know, and sometimes poorly, you know, poor jokes about it. But so, yeah, the reason why I brought up this Aquaman 2 and the Lost Kingdom is there's something interesting going on here. As James Wan released this information, I believe on Twitter and Instagram, where he showed that he was working on it, which was cool. I mean, I think James Wan does a good job. And like I said, Aquaman first film was very visually stunning, but there's a SnyderVerse connection to it, which is interesting. This is why I wanted to talk to you guys about it. If you haven't had a chance to look at the storyboards for the SnyderVerse, which I know some people are kind of hesitant to look at them because maybe it's potential spoilers, but I think if Zack does restore the Snyderverse, or I should more importantly say, if Discovery, you know, restores the Snyderverse, I think he's going, I mean, he's kind of already said that, yeah, the story's changed. You know, you might see things similar because this is kind of the idea he was going to with the Nightmare World. You know, he said that time has gone on and he's kind of thought about it more, and he has a new idea. He has a new story that would work for his sequels. But I do think it's interesting that other directors, we've heard Patty Jenkins, you know, when talking about Justice League, she said no one considers the Justice League canon. The studio considers Justice League canon, but none of the directors and the people who are writing this movie or these movies consider Justice League canon, she says, because it sucked. Everyone knows it sucked. Yet you have James Wan here who's using a piece of Zack Snyder's storyboard, which in one of the Justice League sequels, it actually talks about Aquaman and Mera uniting a seventh kingdom, or, you know, battling the seventh kingdom to make them a part of the army to go up against Darkseid and that kingdom of the Lost Kingdom, right? Interesting. I don't know. Let me know in the comment section what you guys think about that. It's weird to say that the Snyder cut is not canon, and yet they're doing a lot of things that are connecting it, you know, or at least someone in the writing chair is throwing a little hints that there is a connection there, or they're preparing for when Discovery takes over in January, I believe, of next year, to restore the Snyderverse. So they're trying to make it so that they don't have to completely change the story for when Discovery gets in. That's an interesting thought. At least I think it is. So let me know what you guys think. Do you think is the studio putting these subtle connections to make Snyder supporters, Snyder Cut supporters, and SnyderVerse supporters support their film? Or is it to possibly prepare for when it does get released? Because let's think about this, guys. The SnyderVerse is the most talked about thing to this day. And maybe you could say, well, Trey, you're just a part of this community, so this is why you hear about it all the time. You know, you could say that, Trey, you just hear about the Snyder Cut, you just hear about the SnyderVerse, you know. But then again, I'm part of a family that, you know, a lot of my brothers-in-laws, you know, love Marvel, and I enjoy watching Marvel films with them because, you know, family time and stuff like that. But listening to them talk about their cinematic universe and watching, the Loki show and all that stuff, you really get a sense that they just Marvel knows how they're doing things, but like you just don't hear a lot of Marvel chat, at least on Twitter. I mean, I'm constantly looking on the trending Twitter boards, and I saw the Miss Marvel's trending yesterday. I think though it only got like 10,000 tweets, and the Snyderverse got 250 some thousand tweets, and the Make the Batfleck movie got a little over 30,000. So I mean, it's one of those things that you constantly look at it and you go like, people are still talking about those films. People are still talking about Man of Steel. People are still talking about Batman v Superman and analyzing that film because there's a lot to it, right? Hell, that's, to me, the fact that there's this slight connection. And I think we're going to talk about this more for another live show, maybe this Sunday. But I think we're going to talk about some of the Snyderverse connections that we're seeing in these future DC films that are worth chatting about, because you're constantly hearing from the studio that they don't consider Zack Snyder's Justice League canon. Zack has said that, right? They consider Justice League canon, yet no one is connecting really anything to Justice League. If you look at the Aquaman film, I don't see the difference of connection from Justice League from Zack Snyder's Justice League. I don't see a difference in there, of where Aquaman is at that time. Even Jason Momoa says we end exactly where Jason Momoa is in Zack Snyder's Justice League. Now he could have said that just to get people on board to see his film. Maybe, yeah, I could hear that out. But the Flash film has Kiersey Clemons, who played Iris West in Zack Snyder's Justice League. Not in Justice League. They cut her part out. But she's in the Flash film. Interesting. Speaking of the Flash film, Andy Muschietti has released a Instagram photo finally for the Flash suit, the new Flash suit. I think this is really funny. The fact that they released the Batman logo, Michael Keaton's Batman logo, before Flash. I still ask this question, is this even a Flash film anymore? Or is this just Batman? The fact that the Batman suit came out first before the Flash for his very own movie, his own, solo outing, you kind of have to ask yourself, what are they thinking? Because clearly, I mean, it's Ezra's film, right? And to me, it's almost kind of unfortunate for Ezra, because this is the first like solo Flash film, right? And to have this like moment honestly kind of taken away from him, because it's being overshadowed the fact that Michael Keaton is coming back to be Batman, that Ben Affleck is coming back as Batman, and everyone is raving about Ben Affleck coming back as Batman, because it's kind of funny. And Zach actually talked about this in a interview with Vanity Fair, I believe, where he said people were so against Ben Affleck as Batman when he first came out. I was regrettably one of them. I was hugely against Ben Affleck as Batman. And then when I saw that first picture of him, next to the Batmobile, I was like, holy hell, they're going for the Dark Knight Returns Batman. Like, yes, I'm all for it. And then when I saw the movie, it confirmed for me that this dude is Batman. And, when Justice League came out, people started giving him shit like, oh, it's Fat Fleck, Fat Batman and stuff like that. And when you realize that wasn't his true portrayal of the character, and Zack Snyder's Justice League is, all of a sudden people are like, oh my God, he was such a good Batman. It was like watching a real life Justice League Unlimited episode, which I agree. It's overshadowing Ezra in the Flash film. And now they got this other portion that people are going crazy about, that Grant Gustin from the CW's The Flash is going to be in his film, which this makes sense to me, because if Ezra gets the cameo on his Infinite Crisis episode, I think it's only fair if it goes backwards. The thing that's shitty still about the Flash film, which I think we all can agree, is the fact that Ray Fisher is still not back into this film. He's still not Cyborg in this, guys, which is ridiculous. Ray Fisher deserves to be in this film because his performance in Zack Snyder's Justice League was phenomenal. And not only that, the fact that they made it a part of this quick little scene that Ezra and Grant had in that Infinite Crisis episode, where he actually says, Victor's never going to believe me, and to then have the film and Victor is not in it is dumb. It's so dumb. And honestly, it proves you that Warner Brothers holds a grudge like none other. They for some reason have a grudge against Zack. Who the hell knows why? It's just disappointing that they've done that. But I don't know. We'll see. The Flash film, like I said, is something very interesting to me in terms of how far away are they going to get away from the Snyderverse with it. I think they're only 25% done filming with the Flash film, so hopefully Discovery has time to get in there and be like, let's do a couple of reshoots, bring in Cyborg with Ray Fisher, and create some connections to the Snyderverse. As we heard from Mikey Sutton with Geekosity, he is saying that the original plan when Ben Affleck was coming back was that they were going to kill his character. That is no longer true. He is saying that Ben Affleck will live in the Flash film. I don't know what that means. I mean, does he live and he's just not a part of Ezra's universe anymore? Or a part of his Earth? It's going to be an interesting. You've heard Zach refer to the Snyderverse and Zack Snyder's Justice League as an Elseworlds film. So the Flash film going to be very interesting. It's going to really establish the multiverse for the DC universe. And we're going to find out how far away they're trying to get from the Snyderverse. And honestly, like I said, I would be very afraid for the Flash film if it's shorter than 2 hours and 15 minutes. Honestly, I think if it's not 2.5 hours, I think it's not going to be a good film, because I don't think you can explain the multiverse in a smooth story then without giving each character and each moment its kind of needed length, respected length, to really make it not like, oh, there's Supergirl, fly and run into another thing, like, oh, there's Ben Affleck's Batman, bye, and it needs to really give each character its time, and you have to give enough screen time to Ezra to make him the frickin' Flash and the main lead of this film. You have so many big characters in this that it's almost like the Flash gets lost, this is the silly part about Warner Brothers. This Flashpoint film really needed to be, like Zack had planned, one of the last of his DC EU Snyderverse, however you want to put it. So we'll keep talking about the Flash as it progresses, but this is going to be a very interesting film. I think we all can agree. But Eric Patterson even says there are too many characters for it to be short. Agreed. That's my issue with it, is that there's just so much to it that this is coming from the studio, according to one of Zach's visual effects guys, that the studio didn't even understand the Speed Force in Zack Snyder's Justice League. And this was like in 2017. They didn't even understand that when Flash runs back in time. Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert, if you're watching, he runs back in time and stops the Justice League from dying. Okay, like, it'll be interesting if they refer to that at all, if Ezra brings that up, if his Barry Allen brings up that situation at all in the Flash film. That'll give us a little idea of what they're doing. But I agree, Eric Passon, you're absolutely right, brother. All right, next topic. Wayne T. Carr's Green Lantern. My goodness, come on. Here's a question I have for you guys. I've been really thinking about it a lot lately because he's been so supportive with the hashtag RestoreTheSnyderverse community. He's really been interactive with the fans, really appreciative when people have done different artworks for him and really showing him all the love and support that honestly he deserves for this scene that we never even saw. But We know it was Zack's vision, and the studio said no to it. Here's the question I have for you. Because of this whole situation with the Green Lantern, do you feel that our beloved Zack Snyder's Justice League, the Snyder Cut, is tainted? Do you feel like we've been robbed? Do you feel like even now we did not get the Snyder Cut? We did not get Zack's full vision. We got like 99.9% of it. I kind of do. It's kind of weird, but like maybe the new hashtag is hashtag release the Snyder Cut, right? For this one damn scene, or hashtag release the Green Lantern scene, because it looks like it could have been such a phenomenal thing. Like even Zack posted this concept art, and I know it, I'm pretty certain it's concept art and not an actual like scene clip, just because you can tell Bruce Wayne is not wearing a shirt, and obviously Ben Affleck does wear a shirt. But he did it with this Joseph Campbell story, and he did, we're in free fall into future. We don't know where we're going. Things are changing so fast, and always when you're going through a long tunnel, anxiety comes along, and all you have to do to transform your hell into a paradise is to turn your fall into a voluntary act. It's a very interesting shift of perspective, and that's all it is. Joyful participation in the sorrows, and everything changes. Joseph Campbell. I always feel like when Zack does something, he's he's being sneaky. He's being so sneaky. And he's obviously trying to stir up some shit, because I think even Debbie said that they were a little bit nervous that if Zack tried anything with the Green Lantern stuff, that Warner Brothers was going to come after him and sue him. So the fact that he's coming out with this post on Vero, his it's kind of like his Instagram, I guess you could say, which if you don't have Vero, I recommend it. It's actually, I think, better than Instagram, just because it doesn't put your pictures in a format of what it likes. It just accepts it basically. But it makes me wonder if Zack knows there's something in the works at Discovery, if they've already reached out to him and have said, hey, we're looking at getting this done. But me personally, the fact that we haven't seen the actual ending to Zack Snyder's Justice League, it was supposed to be Green Lantern. I think Martian Manhunter was going to be there too in Zack Snyder's Justice League, at least in his revamped version. I'm not sure if that was his initial plan in the 2017 cut. I think technically he said it was supposed to be Kilowog and John Stewart, two Green Lanterns at the very end, but he never got to film that scene because of, you guys know why. It's so disappointing that we never got to see this scene, but you know what? Someone took the time to actually create a really, really cool animation of it. So I'm going to try to play this little clip for you guys real quick, and so that way you guys can get an idea. One moment here. See, this is where it's nice to have Super Bro Corey. He just knows how to do it. Okay. Here we go. All right, now I got it. All right, hopefully you guys can see it. But I'll play this little clip for you guys. Yeah. Some pretty cool stuff. I think that was by, let me pull up this guy's name real quick. The Glorious Pictures. He has a YouTube account. Definitely check out his YouTube channel, because that animation he did for this, for, you know, that Green Lantern scene, to give us a little taste of what it was going to be. It's so, oh, whoops. Sorry. You can see how messy my my desktop is from making all the videos, but it's so disappointing that we won't maybe not get to see the scene. I'm kind of hoping that when they release the DVD for Zack Snyder's Justice League, that they have that scene in there, because it's done. It's there. It's hashtag release the damn Green Lantern scene. Give us the real freaking Snyder cut, because that just looked so good. It really did. And the fact that we won't get all of it is kind of just disappointing, which is why we really need to restore the Snyderverse. It needs to happen, guys. Put in the comments right now, if you support the Snyderverse, I want to see that hashtag restore the Snyderverse. It needs to happen. We need to see Ben Affleck's The Batman movie. We need to see David Ayer's Suicide Squad. Hashtag release the Ayer cut. Because anyone who says that film wouldn't be better than what we saw with the Suicide Squad film is wrong. Because David Ayer, the tone that he gave in that first San Diego Comic-Con trailer, where it's kind of dark, but in a serious way, like Jared Leto was really done him a service, to his Joker for not having his cut. So was Margot Robbie. She had a few extra scenes with Will Smith's character Deadshot. There was some really good stuff there that, just it needs to happen. Hashtag restore the freaking Snyderverse. We need to keep trending it. We need to see David Ayer's Suicide Squad. We need to see the Cyborg film with Ray Fisher. The fact that Ray Fisher doesn't have a solo film is maddening. It's maddening. He's one of the brightest parts of even Justice League, just phenomenal in Zack Snyder's Justice League. We need that dude. We need him to be there. Hashtag restore the Snyderverse. Amen. Amen, Eric. Hell yeah. You guys know. You already know. Speaking of Ben Affleck's The Batman, as you guys already know, June 27th is going to be a huge day. A huge day. At 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we are doing our first live show collaboration with the Batfleck movie Twitter account. They are going to join us that day, and we are going to talk about the Batfleck movie, everything we know about it. We're going to do some giveaways. We're going to do some fundraising for Feeding America. So for that super chat that I think Corey, thank you so much, bro, for giving us $5. That day, 100% of whatever is left over after YouTube takes their cut is all going to Feeding America. So that is going to be such an exciting day that I'm seriously, this is going to be huge, guys. I have this great feeling that when they trend all day, on June 27th, I think it starts at 10:14 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, when you do the hashtag make the Batfleck movie. I think we are going to catch the eyes of a lot of people. Maybe catch the eye of Ben Affleck. I don't know. He's definitely aware. I've heard he's definitely aware of our community. He's aware that people want to see his movie. Joe Mangelo has talked a lot about it, and a lot of people are starting to go, man, I need to see this film. Batman and Destro, come on. It's going to be a damn good day. June 27th, man. It might be, I'm hoping it's the day that we rival that November 2019 Twitter event, that we hit 1 million tweets for hashtag make the Batfleck movie. But yeah, go ahead, guys, and do that fan casting theme trending event where you give your take on your fan cast. So that means who would you cast? Obviously, you know, Ben Affleck is going to be the Batman. You know, Joe Manganiello is going to be Deathstroke Slade Wilson. You know, Jeremy Irons is going to be Alfred and J.K. Simmons as Commissioner Gordon. But who would you like to see as Batgirl? We know Batgirl, thanks to Joe Manganiello, is going to be in this film. We know that we could maybe see a Death of Robin scene. So who would want to be Robin? You know, this film is gonna be so good. Who else from the Bat family would you want to see in this film? Right? Like this could be super duper cool. I can't wait to see what all of your guys' fan casting are, because I bet some people are going to come up with some really cool ideas. Oh man, Corey says he would like to see Chris O'Donnell return as the Robin. I feel like that wouldn't work because I think Chris O'Donnell is actually older than Ben Affleck. It'd be kind of weird to have a Batman telling an older Robin like, "Get out of my way." Oh man, Chris. Hey, though, yeah, I've actually met Chris O'Donnell. He's a super nice guy. I met him in Hawaii. It was a very weird moment. I think he was filming LAPD or no, NCIS LA. It was something like that. I can't remember. But Corey says the power of CGI, man. Hey, they should have done that with the Batman film. If Matt Reeves wanted a younger Batman, he should just face young with Robert, with Ben Affleck. But yeah, June 27th is going to be a damn good day. I cannot wait. It's going to be super cool. I mean, as you guys already know, they did the House of Wayne Ink to the People campaign. Thank you guys so much for supporting that. I got my shirts and hats coming in. I haven't showed up yet. I hope they're here for June 27th so I can represent. But that campaign is now over, but they have a new campaign, which I have already purchased my hat and shirt for that, and a shirt for my wife, because some of the money goes to Feeding America and the AFSP, and I think Eastern Congo Initiative. Check that out. Is that not dope? Is that not dope? The Batman logo that for their new Ink to the People campaign with that sick Deathstroke, silhouette in the Batman. That is so cool. I'm excited for that. Like when I saw that, they had told me like, hey, this is gonna be the next one. I was like, immediate gonna buy it. Kung Fu Scuba Babe says hashtag RestoreTheSnyderverse was trending big yesterday. Hell yeah, it was. Over 250,000 tweets is I believe what I think it was like 253,000. So well done to everyone who participated. I did, I've seen some people say like, hey, it just because it's 250,000, that doesn't mean 250,000 people tweeted. But it's like, okay, sure, but there's still social engagement. People are still raving about it. There is a demand there. Don't you want to supply the demand? It's money. Yeah, and basically we're throwing money at them, guys, and they're not having it. So I agree with you, Kung Fu Scuba Babe. Appreciate it. Thank you for being here. Thank you so much. Hashtag RestoreTheSnyderverse. But yeah, man, the Batman logo for this new Ink to the People campaign, I have the link in the description so you guys can get your own and hopefully help us represent on that day for June 27th, because guys, it's going to be so huge. We are going to make the Batfleck trend all damn day. So we will set up this live stream soon, so that way you guys can already set your reminders and your notifications to it, because like I said, this is going to be a show that you're not going to want to miss. It's if you're really interested in this Batfleck movie, we are gonna dive deep into the beast of the Batcave. But Kung Fu Scuba says, what are your thoughts on Zack leaking Justice League concept art? Looks amazing. Yeah, we actually talked about that a little earlier. Kung Fu Scuba, yeah, amazing, absolutely amazing. It was, to me, it tells me that something's in the works. The fact that when Zack starts to get a little confident in what he posts and what he's sharing, he's feeding us, he's feeding the fandom, the community, but he's he knows. I mean, this is something he has talked about where he's like, I'm worried if I'll get a lawsuit. And here he is, like, this is my freaking Green Lantern, guys. He knows what he's doing. He's getting us excited because something's going on. I really do think Discovery with David Zasloff, I think they are planning something to possibly restore the Snyderverse. I think the Snyderverse is going to be restored. I've heard Mikey Sutton from Geekosity on Sil Abdul's show say that the Ayer cut is a for sure thing. He's like, he's 100% certain that they are going to announce the David Ayer Suicide Squad movie, his version, at DC Fandom. They apparently, he said, the reason why they haven't done it yet is because they don't want to take away from James Gunn's Suicide Squad film, which, okay, I can believe that, but DC Fandom, if I don't hear it, I'm gonna be a little ticked. I want that David Ayer Suicide Squad film because it sounds amazing. But yeah, guys, June 27th at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is going to be a huge day for hashtag Make the Batfleck Movie. And I hope you guys join us after the social media trending event live on the Bat channel with the Batfleck movie. We are going to get really, really deep into the Batfleck film, and we got some exciting things to talk about with you guys there. I'm super excited for it. I've been planning it, working on it, trying to make all it. We have a cool hype video coming out soon about it. Doing like another little trailer that we did to get everyone jazzed about the Batfleck film, because it's gonna be exciting. But Kung Fu Scuba says Zack is the only director that has posted or leaked the stuff he has. I often wonder, Joker voice, how he doesn't get in trouble. You would think the Hamada Burgers would sue him, right? Yeah, you would truly, yeah. I mean, I almost wonder if part of the reason why they don't sue him is they know if they ever did, the community would, we would, I think then, if they ever did something like that, if they truly want to see real toxic fandom, that will be the day. And rightfully so. If you're going to sue Zack because of a screw up that you guys did, and try to, make money off of him for it, like, no, we're not allowing that. We will destroy Warner. And I don't mean like destroy, like burn down the studio. I mean, like, we will boycott the hell out of Warner Brothers if they ever did something like that to Zack. I think it would just be not a good financial decision for them. They would get the whatever $1 million they would out of Zack, but they would lose billions of dollars from the fandom. So yeah, I agree though. It's very interesting that they did that they haven't done anything yet, which makes me wonder if something's in the works, right? Makes me wonder. But thank you guys so much. Corey says I'd less Grossman them. Now shut the fuck up and let me do my job. Diet Coke. Man, I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you for hanging out with me today, even though Super Bro Corey wasn't in. Like I said, Warner Brothers is coming after him because we're causing all kinds of havoc all around here. But thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Make sure to hit that like, share, and subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss an episode. I'm your host, Trey of the Bat Channel, and don't forget to tune in weekly. Same bat time, same bat channel. We'll see you later, guys. Have a good one.